A major is not easy, as you guys know, especially the low end. And so it requires a little bit of extra work. And if we're doing Miss McLeod's reel, that's in A, it's like a classic A tune. And so we could spend a little bit of time with A major, and then we'll work on Mrs. McLeod's. And then once we're warmed up, we'll work on the D tune, which is Mountain Road. And you can ask me how I figured out that those tunes are in their keys if you want to. A lot of people have a rough time with that. In fact, as the key signature never really tells the tale. And I was working with a lady today, Hillary, and she's working on a tune by a guy called Brian Pickell. Brian is an Ontario banjo player, guitar player, tune writer, and he wrote beautiful tunes. And there's a tune we're working on, it's a jig, and if you were to look at the key signature, it's got one sharp. But then when you start playing it, it's in a minor key, and so you're thinking E minor, but no, because it's mainly a D tune. So it's in D Dorian, which is, you know, basically a major scale, but with the third note lowered. So instead of, it's, oh yeah, sorry. They still haven't figured this out. Oh, there's Heather. Okay, good. Okay, so here's a regular D major scale. And here's a D Dorian scale. See, that's just one change, and it really makes a big change to the sound of a tune. And it can be confusing if you look at that one sharp and you think you're in G, and then you'll see all these D's everywhere. And indeed, with this tune that we were working on, there was D's all throughout. You can see D, 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 ends with D. Each part ends with a D. So anyway, I just found it interesting, and that's why it's good to know what key a tune is in. Hey Heather, don't worry about it. And it's good to figure out how to figure out what key a tune is in. Anyway, but we know about Miss McLeod, so let's try practicing A major. I'm gonna put my tuner on.
Okay, so I can barely hear you guys.
Quiet, Susan, put this stuff away.
Yeah.
Hold on there.
I'll turn my mic off.
Input volume is low. Is that better, guys? Is that better there? Okay, good. My input volume was very low. Can you hear me better now? Good. Okay, so A major. Now let me just tune up my fiddle. That A string is stubborn today. Jeez, that took forever. Maybe I gotta get new strings. It has been a while. Okay, A major. Here's your A. Ready, go. Okay, mine was not exactly perfect, so we're going to try it again. And I just got to mute myself for a second while I shout at my kids. We're good. The boy is taking the girl to her gymnastics. I wanted to make sure they were actually gone. Now let's do it again because I was not perfect. I have to admit. Let's do it. Ready? Go. Oh, that's much better. I redeemed myself. How do you guys feel? Is it all good? Settling in? Let's go a bit quicker now because we're going to play a reel. So let's go a little bit quicker. A 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, now I want everybody to tell me how is your success rate at that speed? Give me a this, give me a this, or give me a kind of like that. Okay, yeah, okay. Let's do it again right away. And how is the arpeggio? Because we didn't practice the arpeggio slow. It was okay, yeah. Arpeggio's a hard one. Let's do that one slow. Just the arpeggio. You tune to me, okay? Nice and slow, just the arpeggi. Here's the A. Okay, nice and easy. Ready, go. Better? Is that feeling okay? Let's do it again. Lock it in. I just gotta check my D again. That's better. Okay. Okay, here we go. Slow. Ready? Go. Arpeggio! Okay. Good? Feeling good? Let's do fastest. Like this. Okay. Helmets on. 1, 2, 3, go. Woo! I did good. I'm giving myself like an 85 on that one. How about you guys? How did you fare off? Yeah? Not bad? Great. Excellent. Okay, well that should do us well for Mrs. McLeod. So let's get that up. Let's work on that. We're going to work on strength and rhythm, and then see if we can get it up in speed a little bit. Let's see where. Oh, come on now. Where would this be? Why is it not here? Here we go. I knew I had it. Okay. Oh, it's because I said miss instead of misses. There you go. You don't want to get that wrong. Okay. Now it's been a while, so let's go slow to bring her back. Okay. Let's think about maybe. Do you think that would work? Think we can manage that with a level of success? Brittany's like, oh, have you ever done this tune, Brittany?
Sorry, how do you want me to put it? I've done it once before last time. And then I
Okay.
haven't really done it.
That's okay. Let's go slow. Do you guys mind going slow for Brittany? Didn't think so. Not a problem. We could all use it. Excuse me. So let's see. Let's try it kind of like. We'll try it like that, okay? And for everybody else, including myself, I'm going to try to play her bang on in tune and with all the right rhythm and bowing. Ups. 1, 2, 3, go. right. How we doing? How's it feeling? Good? Getting your bowing in? Ups? Cool. And how about you, Brittany? Is it coming back?
Yeah, I don't remember it, but it was good. I
Okay,
felt
good.
fine.
You don't remember? Like it's in your ear? Like it's taking time to get back in your ear?
Yeah, like it doesn't sound familiar to me, so maybe I didn't. I thought we did play it, but
You know
anyway, it was
what?
okay.
Here's the thing about this tune. You've probably heard it a lot of ways. And the second part especially, most people play it like this. See that? A little bit more kind of looser than this ancient music from 1720 or whatever. So we're following the music to the letter, but it might not exactly click. But while you guys take a breather, why don't I play it up to speed? And that might help a little bit. And then the old timey guys play it, and it sounds like this. See that? Very, very, just, it's the same tune, of course, but they have a different spin. And then the Irish guys. Play it in G. And I'm pretty sure that's because of the uilleann pipes and the flute, and thank you, who don't like to play in A very much. It doesn't work. They don't have a G sharp. So they changed it to G because, that's what they do. But I keep trying to remind Brian that all the good Irish music came from Scotland. Anyway, although Marty got an update for his Ancestry.ca. That's my younger brother Marty, because he does this Ancestry.ca thing, and my sister does it too, Annie. And so I don't want to do it because I feel like it's just goes straight to the Russians, and there's going to be like a clone Dan over in Russia playing jigs and reels or something like that. But they don't mind doing it. But I find between the two of them, you can kind of get an accuracy. And there's been an update. And apparently, it looks like we're even more Irish than we thought we were. Now it's up to 28% Irish, and the rest Scottish, except for 1% Indigenous, which is very interesting.
Ooh, the exact same. Mine
What's
used to
that?
be- That happened to me too, and almost
Really?
the same percentage. Yeah, mine went
Wow.
up 30% Irish, and it was like a little. It was a little bit lower than that, but it went up. I'm like, that's
Yeah, it's
interesting.
wild.
I don't.
It's very interesting, and I gotta say, like, it does make sense because he says that it gives you the every 50 years status through history. And so, for instance, he found out that he didn't know that my people all came from Loch Arbor in Scotland, Loch Arbor. And then it really lines up with the stories that we heard growing up, exactly right, about when we got kicked off of Loch Arbor because of the Highland clearances and had to go to the islands, Barra and Lewis. And those were the stories we always heard growing up. And sure enough, in that period of time, the MacDonalds were in the Hebrides. And anyway, I don't know where the Irish came along. Maybe on the boat over to Cape Breton or something. I don't know. But anyway, it does explain a few things. Okay, let's try this again, people. So let's see. Maybe we'll pick it up a tiny bit and it'll make it a little more recognizable as well. So kind of like... That should do it. I'd say you'll be able to handle that. And let's do it a good few times too if you have it in your arm. Because to get the groove going takes a few times. Okay. One, two. 1, 2, 3. Again. One more. Okay. Now, what I want to hear is everybody's worst favorite part. Start with you, Elaine. Where's a part that trips you up, or a part that you hate, or that you try to skip, or that you wish wasn't there?
Now, the going into the B section,
Yeah.
it's almost that change in rhythm
Yeah.
there, and that's always trips me up. I can get onto it probably by the second time around, but yeah.
Here's
First-
a way that you might be able to access it, and this goes along with what I was saying before about the kind of, I don't know, the versions that you hear all over the place, is that a lot of people don't play 2As, they just play 1A. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you might keep that in mind because it's totally valid, and it might be a way to get into the part.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then, of course, if you feel like playing it that way all the time, that's completely up to you, you know? As I realized that, like, in Cape Breton, it's mostly a long A
Okay.
for most people, although it varies. I'll never forget Sandy's story about the Cape Breton Symphony trying to play Miss McLeod's together. Anyway, so try a long A.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will do. Thanks.
No problem. How about you, Astrid? Worst favorite part?
I'm going to ditto that first bar of the second part. That was it's a tough one, and also going into the run on the second last bar, the just the last two bars of the second part it's
Yeah.
just going across the cross strings, the E and the A. Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you
So
mean
that's a tough one for me too.
the second last bar of the B part?
Yeah.
That's all on the E string.
Ba, 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 ba.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
it
goes
is.
down.
Yeah. Bop, bop. But somehow my fingers aren't working properly. And they're not going as
Okay.
fast. I don't know why. Why
Well,
would
we can.
it be?
And the good thing is that it's the same ending for both parts. So let's take the ending and play it 3 or 4 times. Okay. The last 2 bars. Let's do that all together. I'm sure everybody could use the practice. So I'm gonna mute you though. Hold on. Okay, let's try that. So this is the last 2 bars. We're gonna try it nice and easy and get used to the move. 1, 2, 3, go. Let's do it again. Ready, 2, 3, go. Let's do it again. Ready, 2, 3, go. Faster. Ready, 2, 3, go. One more to be sure. Ready, 2, 3, go. Is it working? Good. Okay. So that's going to prepare you for that. Brittany, your worst favorite part.
I think that might be a special case. All of part B. That was my 3rd time playing it. So at that speed, I was able to pick up, get the first part A.
Yeah.
By the 2nd time. But at that speed, I couldn't quite.
Yeah.
Kind of a mess the whole time.
Let's do the B part really slow, and I want you to also try that trick of just the single long A to start off the B part.
Okay.
See if that helps. And you can pretty well do it every time you see 2 A's. You can play a long A. And I'm going to show you what it sounds like, because you might like it better. See how that works? Okay, might help. You never know. And we'll go over the whole B part. Shall we do that? Let's go nice and slow. We're going to go over the whole B part and see if any of these tricks work. 1, 2, 3, go. Again. Little faster. Last time. Now that looked like it was working, Brittany.
Yeah, that was better with the long A. And then
Good.
could you go over the transition also from the last bar on the part B back to part B again?
Yep. Oh, okay. All you do there is that you add a C.
Add a C. Okay.
Now, yeah, and if you look at it, you see how there's the pickup notes for the B part is a B and a C right before that repeat sign.
Yeah, I see.
So you play that instead of this single 8th note B at the end of the bar. You play that pickup.
Okay.
Okay, and that should help your bow too, because if you're going backwards for that B part, it's really hard.
Yeah.
That didn't look like you were having a problem with that. Okay, Heather, worst favorite part that made you wish you didn't pick up Irish music or Scottish music.
Okay, so I have this memorized to a point. I can't play it really fast memorized. I have to peak. So it's a very visual thing for me. It probably has a name. It's weird. So the first bar in the second line, the first bar in the third line.
Yeah. that's
If
all
I'm
right.
if I'm going too fast, I have to peak,
Okay.
but everything
Well,
else seems to be fine.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, first of all. Like, that actually sounds like you're making good progress playing it by ear. If you only have to peak a couple of times, that's excellent, really.
Awesome. Okay.
And I was actually doing a similar thing because I'm trying to learn all. Check this out, and I'll have to teach you guys one sometime because they're really simple, but there's a lot of them. These are Irish set dances. There are like 100 of them, and I have to learn them all by June 13th, where I play for little girls who are going to ask me any one of these tunes, any one, at whatever speed they're looking for, and I have to be able to just pull it up and play. Okay?
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake. So, and I'm doing it because my good friend Eno O'Brien, who is fighting cancer right now, she did the feshes for 30 some years, and Sylvia was doing the feshes, so I said, well, I'll take over and do the feshes. It's going to be there anyway. Sylvie quit the dancing, but I still have to do the feshes because poor Ena's counting on me. So, but I got this technique of having the music adjacent on my music stand that I have next to my screen here. And first of all, I have that, and my friend Pat King that I played with on the float there on St. Patrick's Day, he sent me MP3s of all of these set dances. These are the most typical ones asked. And he's playing them on the accordion. So I have that in my ear, I have the music here, but I'm not looking at the music. I'm watching a YouTube video. And when I need to, with the sound off, when I need to, I'm glancing over, just like you're talking about, Heather. I'm peeking over. And I'm going to tell you, it's turning out to be a quick way to learn these tunes. Like, I'm surprised. It's kind of a cramming method. It's like a combo of by ear, glancing at the music, but the fact that I got the YouTube video on makes me not stare at the music. And I just glance what I really need to. And it's really speeding up the process. So there's nothing wrong with peeking. However, what I do after I'm done is I try to pay attention to where I have to peak and just learn what the hell note is that. So for you, you got 3 big A2s. And then the next time, you got 2 big open A's.
There. That's the way to think about it, right?
It might
Just
help a
anticipate
bit.
that.
Yeah, it might help a bit. I do that type of thing all the time, especially when playing for singers. Like if they go into a bridge or a part that's different, I try to have one thing that I can think of that puts me on track. Usually it's only one note. So a B or a G to get into the bridge or whatever it is. But it usually works. Anyway, okay. We are ready. Let's do it again. 3 times, and I'm going to speed her up every time. Don't stop firing. All right. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. that's the Cape Breton Triple Day. Same as the service in the States that comes and rescues you when you're trapped in your car. All right, how do we do?
Dan, just a question on what you're doing as we're taking off the second A, but then what happens is my bowing gets all mixed up.
We got to do an up.
An up after that after.
Absolutely, because it becomes
Okay.
a long note. Yeah, but you're
Very
right.
good.
Good point. I'm glad you pointed that out. So if you are doing the long A, and I can see some people were doing it, and it's great, and you should do it. It means you got to do an up right after the C to the A. Okay, it only happens a few times, but you do have to do it 3 times. Everybody else, you do good. Heather, you hang in with those parts where did you have to peak too much?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a yard sale at certain points, but it was pretty good. Pretty good.
I love that. And how about you, Brittany?
Big improvement on part B, but I'm
Good.
still not quite there at that speed, but it was
Yep.
much better.
Very good. And Elaine, how'd you get along?
Yeah, that was okay.
You doing the long A?
Yeah.
Is it better?
It's better, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Just
Particularly
remember
getting
that.
into-
Just remember that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, let's leave that one then. Let's move on to the Mountain Road. Mountain Road is a very ubiquitous Irish tune. Everybody plays it, and it's actually one of the first ones I learned when I came to Toronto. I was playing it with a band called Spree. Mountain Road. Spree is the Irish word for a tremendously good time, like a binge of whatever. It could be anything. And this band, it's spelled Spraoi, Spree. Nobody ever pronounced it right. Not once. We were together for about 5 years, and nobody ever pronounced it right. And we did a showcase one time, and the leader of the band is a New Zealand guy, very curt New Zealand band. He said, I remember him saying to the crowd, we started playing already, and he said, "And by the way, we're Spree, not Sprig, not Sprag, not Sproing, Spree!" Poor guy. He was doomed. You should never use an Irish name for your band if it's one like that. You got to use ones that are obvious. You know what I mean? Because otherwise nobody can pronounce it. Even Irish people half the time. Okay, Mountain Road. Let me just play it to get you guys acquainted with it. Great tune, my God. Really, this is one I pull out at a dance all the time because it really gets people moving. The problem with it when you pull it out for a dance is that if you're doing an Ontario dance, the tunes have to be 32 bars long. If they don't, then they don't match up with the dance. So this tune here is called a single, meaning that each part is actually only 4 bars long. And that's why you don't see a repeat sign, because they've just written out the whole thing. See that? So it's not a 32 bar tune. So when you play Mountain Road at a dance, you have to do it twice, 4 times, 6 times, or 8 times. See what I mean? So I usually do it 6. I usually do it 6 times. And you can. It goes by like a shot. It's a great tune. Anyway, have we done it? We have. Okay. Not really? You haven't, Brittany?
Last class we did it.
Oh, okay.
We did. I've only done it once.
Well, let's go slow. Now, the good thing is that it's so repetitive. Once you get the first line and the third line, that's the whole tune. Okay, so let's just go slow and keep that in mind. And ups are very important, and I hope you know where they go. And if you have a question about that, you can let me know. But it's after every long note. Do it up. 1, 2, 3, go. One more. Okay, how's everybody doing with that? Any problems? Great. Heather, what's the problem you're having, do you think?
Just holding the bow. It comes and goes, but my thumb gives out.
Oh,
And I'm preoccupied
yeah,
by losing grip,
yeah.
and then I have to kind of re-grip while I'm playing. So
Okay,
it
now
just
you're making a
throws me
very
off.
important point here because this happens to a lot of people. So when you say your thumb's giving out, do you mean this chicken wing muscle here? Oh, can't hear you. You muted again.
It's my tuna tin can injury where I have
Oh yeah,
this thumb is a disabled thumb, so it's hard
yeah.
to hold on.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
one thing about your thumb is that it really shouldn't do a lot of holding, like with pressure and force behind it. If you can get away, now my I'm a bad example because I just kind of let it sit here with a little crook. Oh, you can't see that. Let it sit here with a little crook on it, and that does the job for me. Okay, and that means that I'm not expending any pressure with my thumb up against the bow because you don't want to do that. Okay, the bow hold should be what they used to call dynamic, meaning that it's movable in your fingers, like it's like a trailer hitch. So, and that helps you move it straight. See that? I have very little gripping power on the bow. I'm barely holding it actually. And also the fact that you said you're losing grip on it sometimes, that's actually, you know, that's what that feels like. When you have a nice loose grip, you'll feel like the bow. One of the first things people tell me when they start to get the hang of jig bowing, that really get the hang of it, is they say they feel like the bow is going to fly out of their hand on the up bow. And I say, good job. okay? Because we really are chucking the bow around with as little of this as you can handle. Like, and you can do tests of it. Like my classical teacher we used to try to experiment and see how lightly you can hold it before it actually drops out of your fingers. You know what I mean? Like little tests like that, because we are playing the fiddle. We are trying to be as lazy as possible. We got to play eighth notes at the same rate of the German machine gun for 3 hours to keep the arses moving. If you start gripping onto the bow, you're sunk. See what I mean? So what I want you to do is I want you to try to relax that thumb. Try to curl the fingers a little bit to give you a little bit more help so that it's not all on your thumb. Now you can see my fingers are pretty well curled right around the stick when I play. See that? Okay? And that really helps a lot. It helps the thumb in the picking up and everything else. See that? They help out. And that's going to take a lot of tension off of your thumb. Now, what you're describing, that muscle going stiff on you and giving out, that used to happen to me when I was a kid. When I used to, before I got a little bit better with the bow and stopped clutching onto it. But I could remember when we were in Scotland, I felt like this muscle was going to burst and I couldn't hold the bow anymore. So that sounds a little bit like that. So loosen her up and don't worry about losing grip of it. It might be a good thing. Okay? Anybody else have a comment about this tune? We do it again. Okay. Let's try same speed to start with, but then you know what's going to happen. 1, 2, 3, go. One more. Last time, I swear. Everybody looked like they were going along good there. How you feeling? How's it going? Yeah? Is it nice? What was I going to say now? I would like to chat a little bit about moving from A to D. In the first part there's a lot of that. And I'm just looking at the screens. And if you watch me doing it, look carefully at my right hand. while I'm playing that part. See that? Not. That's very hard to do. That's really hard to control, and it's tiring. And you can't. Once you get to a certain speed, I notice the magic speed is about 95. It's impossible. You can't do it anymore. So learning how to change strings just like this is really important. Okay, and it's less work. Now I was telling you about the thumb, and this here, and the fingers kind of curling up under the bow. This is something called bow push-ups, and it's a Suzuki thing. And look, see my pinky is the fulcrum there. Okay, and then I'm clutching the bow up into my palm, using my thumb and my knuckles, all the knuckles, and then I'm putting it back down so my fingers are straight. My hand is over the bow, straight hanging off. My hand is the bow. And I clutch it back up into my palm again. Yeah, and then I put her back down straight. I clutch her up and I put her back down straight. And those are bow push-ups. Very valuable thing for changing strings. It's what I do most of the time. See, so I'm on the A and I need to go to the D. I just got to curl up my hand a little bit. And then I got to go back to the A, straighten out my fingers a little bit. Back to the D, curl her up a little bit again. Back to the A. See that? That's all you need. Now that's looking pretty good. I know we're going slow, but once you get the hang of it, you'll notice that it's a lot less work when you're going fast. Does it feel like it's going to work for anybody? Does that make sense, that move? It was reminding me of a jellyfish, watching people do it on the screen here. It's like a jellyfish, like down, up. And to tell you the truth, this, for the most part, this is my up bow. And this is my down bow. See that? It's only when I need my arm, the arm actually moves. And the faster you go, the easier it is. See that? It all comes from being able to bow like this instead of like this all the time. Now you need both. But when you work on the bow arm, you move from big to small all the time. So what you do on the big scale to change strings, because I do have to do that sometimes, you try to do on the small scale using just your hand and your fingers. We'll start with bow push-ups and we'll move on from there. But I want everybody to spend considerable amounts of time this week sitting in front of the TV, annoying your spouse or whoever you live with, going like this. And going, no, ugh, and then doing it again. Okay? And then if you're having trouble with it, of course, do a bit of spider crawl. Really helps as well. Equally annoying to the partner. If that's your goal. Okay, with that in mind, let's try a little bit more. Okay. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. Passer. One more. Hey, that looked good. Everybody looked like they were trucking along there. Feeling better? Good. That the bow thing is going to come in handy for a lot of music. So definitely something to spend a little bit of time with. And it's, you know, it's something I had to figure out after the fact, because I didn't know how I did any of this stuff. People would ask me, and they would look at my hand and you know, say, how are you doing all that without using your arm? And I would have to figure it out, see exactly what I'm doing there. And that's definitely what it is. And actually, I'm not alone. Most fiddle players talk about this being their main bow arm and this being their secondary bow arm for when they need to. So if I'm going from the E to the G, for instance, you know, I'm going to flick over there like this, like an Englishman drinking a cup of tea. But then, of course, my arm is going to follow. It has to. See that? So that's when that would get in there type of thing. Or, if I'm going along, big Irish up bow with 6 notes in it, then the arm would be engaged. See that? And it gives you the good speed, the good wallop for whatever you need. You know, like playing the parade, for instance. The old fellow I was playing with, Pat King, he's a hilarious old guy. And actually, this is not funny, but it is funny. On Friday, before all these things took place, I was driving Sylvia to school, and Pat called me just to straighten out the stuff for on Sunday. And it's my own fault, but my phone was down on the dash, and there's this little road that I take onto Eglinton all the time, Times Road. It's a little side road, and I do it like 5 times a day. And so I went, and I got onto Eglinton, and just as I was doing that, Pat called me. And I picked up the phone, and I saw it was Pat, and it hooked up to the Bluetooth, and I put it down, and I was talking to him on the Bluetooth. And then I looked, and the cops were pulling me over. So the cops pulled me over, and the guy came, and I thought, I didn't know what he was pulling me over for, except that he thought I might have been talking on the phone, right? And he said, I'm pulling you over because you did not attempt to stop at the stop sign on Times Road. And I was like, what? And I was shocked at that. And I said, fair enough, man. I do that stop sign 5 times a day, and I must be getting too comfortable with it. You know what I mean? And then he said, and you were also talking on the phone. And I was like, no, I swear, I wasn't talking on the phone. It's on Bluetooth. I did pick it up, but I wasn't talking. And so he believed me. And he let me off with that $595 fine and 7-day suspension. But then when he asked me for my driver's license, I didn't have it because I lost it at the No Frills, and they cut it up on me not long ago. They didn't know, and they have a policy, if it's there for a week, they have to cut it up. And so I got to get a new one. So he gave me a ticket for the license and a ticket for the roll stop, but not for the phone. And the license, all I got to do is show my new license to the prosecutor, and I don't have to pay that. So that's all fine. And then Pat called me back. And I said, I'm sorry, Pat. I didn't mean to hang up on you. And he said, I thought you hung up on me because I wanted to play the Sally Gardens on Sunday. And I said, no, I got pulled over by the cops. And he said, did you get done for the phone? And I said, no, he didn't do me for the phone. And then Pat goes, I got done for the phone. And that's when he told me $595 and a week's suspension. Crazy. And I don't talk on the phone while I'm driving. I was just picking it up, and the cop was very nice. Anyway, let's end off with something here. What should we end off? Maybe the Earl? Since we're in the key of D, let's do the Earl. It's a nice one. It's not fast. Take the pressure off. Let's see here. Earl. All right. I'm loving this tune. Playing it all the time. We played it on up in Aurora, actually. People loved it. Oh. This is good. We're in the right key for it. We're all warmed up in the key of D. It's going to go great. Okay, so let's go not too well. We don't go fast anyway. A 1, 2, 3. Sorry about that. Again! One more time with feeling. He's so happy. Now that looks like everybody's just having no problems with that at all. How's it feeling? It's good, eh? Wicked tune. Great old tune. Okay, so let's talk about homework. I'm going to see what Strathspey we have to go after the Earl that we have already learned that we can strengthen and make better. Let's see here. Okay. Little tunes, scales and things, music without fingering. Let's see, 100 pipers. Oh, I keep forgetting about 100 pipers. Gotta do that. Laddie with the platy. Okay, I am not seeing any Strathspeys on here. Oh, Hawk Hey Johnny Lad. Okay, Hawk Hey Johnny Lad you're going to work on. That would actually be great because it's in A. We can go from D to A. It'd be really fun. What else we got here, though? Jeez, we've done a lot of music. But that's the only Strathspey, so we're going to have to learn another one. So we're going to have to learn a new tune at some point. I know that we're not trying to learn a whole bunch of new tunes, but I think you need a couple Strathspeys for sure. But for now, Hawk Hey Johnny Lad. We're going to continue working on Mountain Road so to get it faster. The same with Mrs. McLeod's. And then we're going to play a great big set that has Earl of Dalhousie, Hawk Hey Johnny Lad, Mountain Road, and Mrs. McLeod's Reel. Okay? So that's what I want you to work on. So all those things that we talked about in Mrs. McLeod's and Mountain Road, you're going to apply those things best you can to get the speed up. Because that's what we're trying to do. So all those little speed bumps that kept you guys away from doing that, you're going to sharpen that up. And then we'll work on the Strathspey and remind ourselves. Some of you might not have even done it. And then we'll put together the set. And won't that be nice? All right? And maybe next week we'll do some Irish music too, since it's March and everything. Is that cool? I'm going to leave you now because my back's killing me. So we'll see you guys next Thursday. Oh, wait. Let me look at the calendar. Always have to do that. Oh, no, we're good. See you next Thursday.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.